support, I think it is there. Unterstützung will be die. They are now technical support, right? So here you'll have to be careful with adjective ending. So technical, the spelling is this, I believe. I think there is an S as well over here. So technisch, right? Now whether it is E, N or S, right? Or it is M or it is A, depends on what. Whenever you have, so if I have to choose between their support and the Unterstützung, to avoid any mistake, I will use die Unterstützung because everything which is feminine, its adjective ending will be always E. Doesn't matter which case. If there is an article and the article is with a feminine one, the adjective ending will be E. So I will go with E. Now, so what about the other one? So always is immer, available is verfügbar or erreichbar. Wie, so you will use via. But because this is an Nebensatz, the sentence will not start with subject. It will start with the first verb which is being conjugated, and that will be could. So könnten, via. Then solve, it will be at the last position, and I told you the verb is lösen. Now solve what? So again, technical problems. So problem is problem, and problems plural is Probleme. The, right? Accusative the is also the. Now again, technisch. So whether it is technischer, technician, technician, how? It's also easy for you because anything which is dative, anything which is genitive, anything which is plural. So dative, genitive, plural, when used with an article, the adjective ending is always E. So for feminine, its adjective ending is N. Okay, this is a trick for you. So whenever you have feminine, the adjective ending is E with an article. For genitive, dative and plural, the adjective ending is N when there is an article. So it will be technician. So what about, so more quickly? So quick is schnell, quickly is schneller, quickest is schnellsten or am schnellsten, right? So for example, if you want to say schlau, you will say like clever. So schlau, more clever, schlauer, cleverest, am schlausten. So when, the technische Unterstützung, just after when you have the subject at the second position. Wenn die technische Unterstützung wäre, conjugated, immer erreichbar, wenn die technische Unterstützung immer erreichbar wäre, könnten wir die technischen Probleme schneller lösen. So check, first position is taken by the, not modal verb, I don't know why I wrote this, it's Konjunktiv II, wir, here you have the verb, other verb, infinitive form, lösen, the technischen Probleme, check, N because plural, here it is E because feminine, right? Schneller, schneller, okay, not schnell, because schnell is Grundform, schneller is Komparativ, am schnellsten is superlative. For now also, so as I said, please try to exploit every sentence that you use. So it was accusative lösen, it is to solve something. It was accusative auslösen. Okay, it was accusative auslösen. Here aus is a prefix which is separable. It means to trigger something off. Now the meaning changes. So for example, when there is smoke in your house, it will trigger the smoke alarm, right? So for example, let's say if I want to say it triggers the smoke fire alarm, so I will say es löst den Alarm aus. The meaning changes, right? Now you have auflösen, okay, not aus, auf. But here it is sich accusative auflösen, reflexive, where you can use it when something dissolves. So for example, salt dissolves itself in water. Sugar dissolves itself in water. So for example, Zucker löst, because reflexive, so you will use sich im Wasser aus, right? Im. Why? Because you're describing a position, and that's why dative, and that's why das Wasser becomes dem Wasser. Next sentence is könnten wir die technische Probleme schneller lösen. I think you get the answer, so it's not modal verb, guys. I apologize for this one. Then you have die Auflösung. So what is Auflösung, guys? If you don't know it, so you are right now looking at a screen, whether mobile or laptop or monitor or whatever it is. It has a resolution, right? The screen has a resolution, so that is the Auflösung. Next sentence, if we had more resources, we could complete the project early, right? So again, hypothetical situation. So here you will have to use Konjunktiv II for haben, that is hätten, right? Don't confuse this one with hatten, that is past of haben. Okay, this we have to use hätten. Resources, how do you say resources in German? So it's almost the same, but with n, and you pronounce it as Ressourcen. Okay, so wenn wir Ressourcen hätten, but more so mehr Ressourcen hätten, we could complete the project early. So here the subject will be at the second position, could will be over here, that is könnten. Now complete, you can use many things over here, but I go with abschließen because that is more accurate. Ab is trennbare verb. Project is das Projekt. Early will be früh. Okay. If you want to say earlier, it will be früher. If you want to say earliest, it will be am frühesten. Let's look at the answer. So when we are mehr, when first position, second position subject, last position taken by the conjugated Konjunktiv II verb over here, that is hätten, mehr Ressourcen hätten, könnten wir das Projekt früh abschließen. Okay, this one has not modal verb. This one has been conjugated. Doesn't look like that, but if it was like ich, then it would have become könnte. Okay, könnte ich das Projekt früh abschließen. Let's again, so schließen, let's see how many different ways you can use schließen and how the meaning changes. So etwas accusative schließen over here means to close or to lock something. Then you have etwas accusative aus etwas dative schließen. Here meaning changes. So here you mean to say you infer or gather something from something. Let's say there is a presentation, there is a video. For example, you're watching this, you're listening to me, right? So you are gathering information. So you can say ich schließe das aus, was du sagst. Okay. Aufschließen, it means to unlock. So schließen is to lock. Aufschließen means to unlock. Etwas accusative abschließen we just looked at. So it means to finish, complete, or finalize something. Etwas accusative aus, again, this one is also trennbare verb. Again, trennbare verb. Etwas accusative ausschließen means to exclude something or to rule something out. Let's say you have 4 options to choose from, and you say I exclude these 2, right? So you will say ich schließe die beide Optionen aus. Okay, so exclude something or to rule something out. Aufgeschlossen is an adjective or an adverb, depending on how you think about it. It means open-minded or outgoing. Then you have Reißverschluss. Again, many people don't know this, but it means zipper of your pant, of your bag, the thing that you use to open or lock the chain of your bag, zipper, right? Reißverschluss. Plural Reißverschlüssel. Verschlüsse. Fifth one is if it would be helpful. Again, no, imaginary situation, hypothetical. If when we already had the necessary information, so like if we had, so you have to use hätten. And it would be, so would be you can use würden, but more appropriate will be wären. Okay, so let's see how you can say all of this. So es wäre hilfreich, wenn wir bereits die erforderliche Informationen hatten. So I believe this one is easy. Subject, verb conjugated, last position hilfreich. When, what comes after when is the subject, and the conjugated verb will be over here. Okay, hätten, bereits, already. Now here the object is an accusative, so it is die Information, but so necessary is erforderlich. There can be other ways to say necessary, but I go with erforderlich. Now why it is e, I just told you, whenever it is uh, feminine, the adjective, and there is an article being used, the ending is, adjective ending is e. So that helps us. You don't have to think about whether accusative, dative, nominative, it is always e when you there is feminine and you are using an article. Now let's see about informieren. So jemanden über etwas accusative informieren, to inform, brief or fill someone in about something. Then sich accusative über etwas accusative informieren. So sich accusative informieren is reflexive verb, to catch up on something. You know, your boss tells you to catch up on something. Now, just one extra topic I want to cover apart from doing exercises on accusative. So I have told you that, or you know maybe, that whenever in a sentence you have a dative object and an accusative object, the dative object is before the accusative object. Okay, this is for in German, before. Okay, whenever you have a dative object in an accusative object, dative is the indirect one and accusative is the direct one. The dative one comes before the accusative almost always, but there is an exception. What is the exception? When the accusative object is a pronoun. Okay, so when the accusative object happens to be mich, dich, you know, then you have for er is in, for z it is z, for s it is s, then for wir it is uns, for ihr it is euch, then for small sz it is in, it's still e, capital SZ. Whenever you have these as accusative objects, they will be before dative. This is the only exceptions that you have to check. So the same example, right? Ich gebe den Teilnehmern die Bücher. So the Bücher here is the accusative object, but die Bücher is, if I have to use a pronoun for it, it will be sie, right? Sie, which sie? Like third party plural, right? Third party plural. So it doesn't matter what it is, because it is accusative, but not because it is a personal pronoun in accusative. That's why it will come before dative. This is the only exception where dative, accusative is before dative. Okay, here I have listed the rule. When accusative object is a personal pronoun, it will come before dative. Otherwise, dative is always before accusative. Let's look at vocabulary. This is just a snippet of how you should be learning new vocabulary every day. So for example, you have gießen. So for those who are attending the session for the first time, you should buy a notebook, preferably blank, and every day you should divide a page into 4 parts. In the first column you should write new German nouns relevant for your life, new verbs, second column adjectives, adverbs, third column. In the fourth column you can write phrases, you know, or idioms or whatever you want. Let's start with the phrase. So you have dash Kilometer von dative object entfernt sein. So you can say to describe how far away is your place from the station, how far away is the office from the train station, right? If I want to say my apartment is 5 kilometers away from the train station, right? So I can say meine Wohnung ist 5 Kilometer entfernt von, what comes after von will be dative. So let's say if I want to say Bahnhof, and Bahnhof there or the, not sure where that's there, but in dative they both will become M. So von dem Bahnhof. So meine Wohnung is, again it can be anything, right? Like it can be, you can say 5000 Meter, as long as you are giving distance. So now let's look at adverbs. So adjectives, so you have lang, breit, dick. So long, wide, thick, you can use it to describe the measurements of any furniture that you have. Then hoch, tief, like how high, how, what is tief in English? I don't think, but I hope you get this point, right? Let's say you have a cylinder, and so let's say this is the ground, and there's a hole in the ground, and the distance from here, so you don't call it the height, right? You call it the depth, right? So I hope you get the idea. Then it is not kauf, it is kaum. Kaum you can use whenever you want to say hardly. You know, I hardly ate, ich habe kaum gegessen. I hardly read, ich lese kaum. Then mobiliert, unmobiliert, furnished, unfurnished, eng. is narrow. Bewölkt or wolkisch, you can use it to say cloudy. Then you have wasserdicht. So they say nowadays many phones they say they are wasserdicht. So it's fine if you put them in water. So I don't know what the English word is, but it is wasserdicht, right? So if you throw water on it, the water will not go inside. Schießen. So if you watch football, then you should know what schießen is. So football, what do they do? Most of the players, they are kicking, right? So kicking is schießen. They say Tor schießen, you know. No. So what about another? But you can also use it to say something else. It also means to shoot, right? So shoot what? It can be shoot photos or shoot with the help of guns. Okay. So same verb can mean different things. Then you have, let's look at verbs. So you have, let me zoom in. So you have gießen. It means to usually it's used with plants. So let's say flowers. So not plants. Let me write it correctly. Blumen, right? To flower the flower. Sorry, to water the flowers. So to water. You can use it in a funny way. Hast du they showed a geese, like did you. I hope you get my humor. So, but normally it is used with respect to flowers. Renovieren, renovate. Füttern, it means to feed, right? But it is usually used with respect to animals, not with people. So füttern is to feed. Okay, it means it is something like eat, but right. But this one you used füttern with respect to birds, right? The Vögel füttern. Stinken is to stink. Spannen is there is spannen and spannen, they both are opposites, antonyms. So entspannen is to relax. Spannen is to put constraint or to just the opposite of relaxing. Okay, so let's say if there is a bar. Okay, I don't want to give this example, but I hope you get the idea. What is spannen? What is entspannen? Entsperren again antonyms. So sperren means to lock. Entsperren means to unlock, but you cannot use it with, I mean, yeah, you can use it with physical objects, but normally people use it with respect to files on computer, right? This file, I will lock this file, you have to unlock this file. So whenever you get like your monthly bank account statement in an email, they say you have to unlock it, right? So that is entsperren. Sperren is to lock it. So they have locked it, you have to unlock it. Sparen, it means to save. But save what? Save money. Okay, so when you say save file on a computer file, that is not sparen, that is speichern. Okay, so context is very important. Let's look at the nouns. Länger, so I think it comes, so these are long, wide, thick. So, and if you want to say length, width or breadth or thickness, so länger, breiter, dick. Briefkasten as mailbox. Mule, it should be mule and not mul. So umlaut, write it properly. So it's mule. Trash. Then you have Mülleimer and Mülltonne. So Mülleimer is what you have where you keep your trash in your room. Mülltonne is what you have outside in your building, right? Where everybody comes and throws the trash. Strom is obvious, electricity. Treppenhaus is a staircase. Wolke is cloud. Muskel is muscle. Finger is finger. This one you might read it as budget or budget, but the correct way to read this is as budget. Okay, budget, it means budget. Also, if those who have been doing the sessions regularly, you know what the color coding means. So blue are, so instead of writing the, I just write E. Instead of writing thus, I just write S. Instead of writing there, I just write R or AR. So the blue ones are masculine ones, just to help you on, like, very quickly help your brain understand before you only read that it's masculine. And the pink or the red ones are feminine, and the other ones are of course neutral. I think we are done. Let me see. Yes, one very like advice to you guys. They say how to learn German. People will say, yeah, you start watching German movies. You learn German. I don't agree with this advice. Okay, I don't agree. This works only after B1. when you have some understanding of the German language. If right now at A1 or A2 you start watching movies, you will not understand anything. Maybe it works when you're watching kids movies, but I believe most of you guys belong in the range of 25 to 35, right? Maybe up to 45. You don't want to watch kids movies. You want to watch movies that you like. I don't want to spoil the pleasure that you get from watching movies. So what you can do is, most of you already have some movies, right, that you have binged watched again and again. It can be in your mother tongue, it can be English movies, right? So you don't have to watch movies, you have to re-watch movies. Which movies? Whose original audio is in your mother tongue or a language you can speak fluently, for example English or Turkish, depending on which, or maybe Bangla, or Urdu. So Turkish is fine, Bulgarian is also a language that you understand or you can speak fluently. And you other criteria is that you have binged watched it again and again. That means you are not watching it to watch the movie, you're just watching it because you like it again, right? So you know the plot, you know what the guys will be saying in each almost every scene. So now you see which, so you make a list of 3 movies or series or whatever it is, and see which ones can you find on Netflix or Amazon Prime or any streaming service that you have available, and see which ones you can watch again with German audio. Subtitles you don't need. Please do not use subtitles. Please do not use subtitles, okay? Why do you need subtitles? You have already binge watched it like 1,000 times, or maybe 10 times. You don't need subtitles, you know what they're talking about. So maybe if you started watching it for a week, so one first day it will be boring, third, fourth, fifth, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh day, it may sound like your ears will not let you watch it because it's your favorite movie. You're watching it in different with a different sound. But from 8th day onwards, there is a very high chance that if you reach the 8th day, right, of watching it again, you will not go back to the original language. So this way, again, also please don't sit with a notebook and start taking notes like German new words. Don't do that. Just watch the movie, enjoy. Your brain will take notes of it. So what I mean, you will know someday you have to say something in German, and even though you have not learned that word consciously because you have heard it somewhere in movie or series, you will use it quickly just because you watched it in your favorite movie. Thank you very much for listening. Please do this if you can. If you want to help, I can help you with it. Thank you very much for listening.